were our strongest allies during our war for independence. So I thought, as I have in years past, I thought this would be a wonderful time to celebrate the contributions of French-speaking artists who live all over the world, here in the United States, in France, of course, and in various countries where they now reside. We are going to start with perhaps maybe the most famous French artist of all time, whose name is Oscar-Claude Monet. Monet is sometimes called the father of modernism because he was one of the leading, if not the leading artists of a movement called impressionism. Impressionism started in France itself and gained the name impressionism from a painting of Claude Monet's called impressionism. And it's a beautiful painting. I'm blocking right now. Is it a sunrise or a sunset? It's in my notes, but it is of the movement of the sun. And his ambition in life was to capture the movement of the sun in his work and to show how sunlight changes our perception of light and color in what we are looking at. And you're going to see that in a moment in his actual work. He was born in 1840 in Paris, France. He was born to a middle-class painter, his family. His mother was a singer and his father was a businessman. Let's start the slideshow. For those of you who are new, we spend a few minutes talking about the artist and looking at her or his work. And then I'm going to give you an assignment to work on yourselves. Hopefully you're going to be inspired by what we talk about and look at in the intro discussion. Jane.
So I just looked up impression. The painting that comes up is it's called impressionism, of course in English, and it also says sunrise.
Sunrise. Thank you, Jane. Okay, so new folks, I am frequently challenged by my aged brain, and I always welcome help from you folks in the audience to help me remember stuff. So thank you so much, Jane. So it is Impressionism, Sunrise. And
oh, I'm sorry, it says impression, sunrise.
Impression, sunrise. Okay, great.
And yeah.
Even better. Okay, this should be opening, but here we go. All right, folks at home, if you could give me a thumbs up, if you can see our slideshow. Thank you, Margot. Merci. Okay, so we are going to watch a short slideshow now of Claude Monet and his work. Again, he was the founder of Impressionist painting, and he is seen as one of the leaders of modernism because he attempted to paint nature as he perceived it, as he saw it. So this is the first painting we are going to look at. And it is a painting of the cathedral at Chartres, which is a cathedral in France. And he painted it multiple times at different times of the day to show how light changes our perception of different things. And during his long career, he was the most consistent and prolific practitioner of Impressionism's philosophy of expressing one's perceptions before nature, especially as applied to plein air or outdoor landscape painting. And the term impressionism, as I mentioned before, is derived from the title of his painting, Impressionism or Impression Soleil Levant or Sunrise, which was exhibited in 1874 in the first Salon des Refusés, exhibition of the rejects initiated by Monet and his fellow artists as an alternative to the Salon. Now, the Salon is something I've spoken about before in class. The Salon was the Academy of Artists, the established traditional artists of that time. The Impressionists initially wanted to be part of the Salon, but they were rejected from membership in the Salon over and over and over again because they kept breaking the rules and breaking the traditions of the group. So they started their own group. And they had this exhibition in 1974 in which they started their own salon, the Salon des Refusés, or the exhibition of the rejects. And that was the beginning of Impressionism. And it's because a critic looked at Monet's painting of the sunrise, the impression of the sunrise, and said it was nothing but a quick, unfinished impression. And the word impression stuck. All right. As always, any comments or impressions, there we go with the word impression again, comments, impressions, or thoughts or feelings about the work as we look at it are welcome from you guys, whether you're at home or here in class. For most of his life, Monet chose a very pastel, light-colored palette. Now, this painting is one of his earlier works, 1874, as I mentioned. So the color is still pretty intense and deep and rich. Lots of this glowing orange and gold. What time of day do you think he painted? Noon? Did somebody just say noon? I'm thinking, yeah, it's probably at the height of daylight, probably very hot. Now look at the same cathedral at a different time of day. So this is either dawn or dusk, I'm not sure which, but this is probably the way the colors truly looked at that time of day. Same building, different time of day. And this is what Monet devoted his life to try and capture, the impression of the quality of light at different times of day. He was raised in Le Havre, Normandy. He became interested in the outdoors and drawing from an early age. His mother supported his ambitions to be a painter. His father disapproved. We've heard of this many times about artists in the past, and wanted him to be a businessman. His mother unfortunately died when Monet was quite young. He was only 16, and Monet was sent to live with a very wealthy aunt. And while there, luckily, he studied with an academic history painter at the Académie Suisse. His name was Charles Glaire, and he was a classmate with Auguste Renoir. He came under the influence of a painter named Eugène Boudin, who introduced him to the concept of plein air, or painting out of doors. And that turned out to be one of the major influences of his life, was this relationship with Boudin. And correction, I said Chartres Cathedral. I make this mistake every time. It is actually Rouen, cathedral, not Chartres. And this painting is 1894. So this is mid-career to late career for him. Which do you like better? Do you like the hot sunlight one or this cooler? Hot, me too. I like the first one better. All right, next, this is probably his most famous painting. And he did a whole series of these water lilies, and these are late in life paintings. He devoted his life, he moved to Giverny later in life, where he built a garden. And he devoted his final years to creating this garden just so that he could paint the plants and wildlife out of doors. In fact, I've never been there, but in fact, I believe if you go there, you can see, Heather, you've been there. Are there easels positioned throughout the garden where he used to paint every day? In my notes, it says that he had his gardener place easels all over the garden so he could go from place to place during the day to paint at different times of the day, different things under different lighting conditions. So he was very famous for these series of water lilies. The Museum of Modern Art in New York City owns one of the biggest and arguably the best water lily paintings by Claude Monet. It's breathtaking. It fills an entire room. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it and hope that you all get a chance to see it. Look who's here. Now, this is something I just learned about Monet. As he grew older, his brush strokes got smaller. I find this so fascinating. Like many of the Impressionists, he wanted the texture of his brushstrokes to show. This was breaking the rules too. The Academy artists made their work as smooth and flat as possible. The Impressionists like leaving the image of the brushstroke and the texture of the brushstroke showing. Think back to when we talked about people like Van Gogh, who made a very thick, textured impasto on their work. Van Gogh learned that from the Impressionists who came before him or were contemporaneous with him. Monet, as he aged, made his brushstrokes smaller, and as I mentioned earlier, his palette became more and more pastel and lighter in color. Anybody not like the water lilies? Just curious. Anybody at home have any reaction to the water lilies, positive or negative?
I'm just surprised there's very little blue because I think of it as blues and greens.
Remember that this is digitally reproduced and it's going to affect the colors.
Mm-hmm.
So that in digital reproductions, it's going to never be the true colors. So this, I think this is probably a little bit pinker and greener than it actually is, Liz. But look at the next one. Remember, he painted at different times of day. Check out these water lilies. And he did, I don't know how many hundreds of these paintings of water lilies. Is this more like what you expected, Liz?
Yes.
Okay. Much more blue. And probably at an earlier or later time of day than the previous one. Light changes, doesn't it? At different times of the day.
And time of year too, I guess.
And the time of year. Different seasons affect the quality of light. I'm mentioning on the side, because we're not going to talk about that today. Monet was also a figurative painter. Think about one of his most famous painting, Déjeuner sur l'herbe, that had figures in it. But we're not going to really deal with that aspect of his work today. I want us to think more about landscape and outdoor painting. One of the things I love about Monet's work are the quick lines and outlining that you see here. This always reminds me too of Van Gogh and the outlining that he did. I'm always drawn to line work in art. For me, it's the most wonderful quality. So this is a detail of a larger piece. Keep that in mind too. It's really beautiful color, isn't it? So he painted other things, architecture, as we mentioned when we looked at the cathedral at Rouen. This is a train station. And I'm guessing this looks like very early morning to me, but I could be wrong. Here it is at a different time of day. Whoops, why is the slideshow not advancing? Oh, you know what? I'm not in play. Ah, here we go. This looks like towards evening. I prefer this one to the other one. Not sure why. So I'm going to start going through these quickly now. I think you're getting a sense of what his life's work was all about. Just want to quickly run on my notes, see if there's anything else I want to add. This is the Canal in Venice, another series that he did. He spent a period of time in Venice. He also spent a short period of time in Algeria. He served in the army in Algeria for a year in the war there. Fabulous color in this. This to me looks like dawn. Could be wrong. Just exquisite color and composition. Look, this pole here, the way it dissects the picture is kind of genius. Monet worked in oils. If you've ever worked outside, I wish Bill Curran was here. He works primarily out of doors in oils. Working out of doors with oils is challenging. You have to lug a lot of stuff with you working out of doors. Same view, different time of day. Look at how this image has changed for Monet. So Monet, Renoir, Pissarro, Morisot, Cézanne, Sisley proceeded to experiment with new methods of depicting reality. They rejected the dark, contrasting lighting of the romantic and realistic paintings in favor of the pale, in favor of the pale tones of their peers' paintings, such as those by Jean-Baptiste, Camille Corot, and Boudin. And after developing methods for painting transient effects, Monet would go on to seek more demanding subjects, new patrons, and collectors. His paintings, produced in the early 1870s, left a lasting impact on the movement and his peers. And this is another series for which he's quite famous, and they are his haystacks. He lived in another part of France called Argenteuil, which is a farming region, for quite a while. And he fell in love with the form of the haystacks and what light did to the haystacks. These paintings heavily influenced Van Gogh. Van Gogh loved these Monet images. So Monet had a long life. He died in 1926 of lung cancer, and he had no will. So all of his work was left to his son, who did with it what he wanted. A side note, in World War II, the Nazis stole many of his paintings, but many of them have been repatriated to the people who own them, luckily. Repatriated, I don't know, reconnected to the people who own them. Not all, but many. All right. Any last minute thoughts or ideas? Or Laura? I think, I think different cultures do haystacks differently. So, yeah. Yep. Depending on where you are in the world, haystacks can have different shapes. Who, Robin? Where you want to
Yes.
say? Thanks, Laura.
One comment, just that his work seems to be so dream-like, or the cathedrals or whatever. It's almost like they're not quite real, or they're not quite present, or they have a looseness to them that gives you a sense of another world. That's everything he does seems like that, and I think that the water lilies are the most tangible that I've seen. This is eerie. It's almost ghost-like. It's like, is it there? That's just my impression. But the water lilies seem to be more, you can be present in it somehow, if that makes any sense. Yeah, like this, it just feels more present,
Really
more real. Like I could be there. Yeah.
Maybe because these were done in his mature years. He felt a greater confidence, and I don't know. Maybe in the world of nature, he felt more solid than he did looking at architecture. Or maybe what light did to architecture was more ethereal for him. But his work has also frequently been often described as ethereal. So I like that term, ghostly. I mean, look at this one. Nice. That was a nice description.
Down below, right there next to it, but below, well, maybe high actually, looking down onto it, but the perspective is much different than the haystacks before.
Right. And that's too because it's his place, right? He can really get up close and personal. This is his garden. So he's within touching distance of these objects.
Lower down. I don't like, he's not way up here, like here.
Right. So that his perspective, wherever he's sitting, is, I know what you're saying, it's kind of weird. Is he sitting on a hill, or is he sitting on a rock?
Or is he on the bridge?
Is he sitting above on his little bridge? I don't know. I don't know. Let's call him up. Claude?
Yeah. Very rapid. I don't
Uh-huh. That's interesting. I don't know. I will tell you this. The very cool thing about Claude Monet, volumes and volumes and volumes have been written about him. If you are interested in him, please look him up. You can start on Google and you will go down an incredibly rich rabbit hole of information about Monet and all the Impressionists. And you will find out so much information. You could read for the rest of your life and learn more and more and more. They are fascinating people. They were some of the biggest revolutionaries in the world of art who ever lived. They broke all the rules and traditions of the Western art world of their day. I mean, huge. They were huge groundbreakers. They were the Andy Warhols of their time. Okay, here's what we're going to do today. Are you ready? You know, it's hot. I know the air quality is not so great. But those of you who are here in the library, I have brought down from the stacks many books of gardens. Or you can look on your phones, or if you read my email, you have brought in pictures of landscapes that you like. We are going to do landscapes today. I have brought in watercolor paper of varying sizes. I encourage those of you who are used to working small, work large, please, today. If you're used to working large, I want you to try working small today. Everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Those of you at home, I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of, I guess, the water lilies, because you want the water lilies or the haystacks? Think about it for a minute and let me know in the chat box, and I will put it up. Those of you who want a refresher course, or those of you who are new to the class, I am going to talk briefly about color mixing and the color wheel. I'm going to put that up on the screen first. Those of you at home, that's all you're going to see. And then I'm going to do a quick demo on watercolor paints for those of you who are new, or those of you who want a review on how to use watercolor paints and color mixing. Those of you who are veterans, go to work. Any questions? Landscape is our goal today. Oh, Doris already knows she wants the water lilies. First, I'm going to show the color wheel, though. Everyone who's here, you can quietly go about your business. If you could keep the noise down, though, so I can do this lesson on the color wheel, that would be so greatly appreciated. Thank you. All right, color wheel. Let me just open this image. And those of you who are doing review, there's nothing wrong with review. So there are three primary colors. They are yellow, red, and blue. We call them primary because you can't mix them. You get them straight out of the tube or the bottle. We love the primary colors because you mix all other colors from them. And there are secondary colors, and the secondary colors on the color wheel are the ones that are wedged in between the primaries. So for example, red and yellow make orange. Blue and yellow make green. Red and blue make violet or purple. So this is the basics of color mixing. And if you forget them, I'll come around to help you remember them. Again, 3 primaries, yellow, red, blue. They mix every other color in the rainbow, including black. You can make a pretty reasonable black by mixing all of these colors together. All right. Then we have what are called tertiary colors. Everyone at home, you can see this, right? Or maybe not yet. Did I do share yet? No, I haven't. But I hope you saw the other one. You can see this, Robin? Okay. Okay, so tertiary colors are when you have more of one primary than another. So when you have more yellow in your green, it's going to become a yellow green. When you have more blue in your green, it's going to be a blue green, etc. When you have more blue in your violet, it's going to be a blue violet, etc. More red in your violet, it's a red violet. More yellow, it's a yellow orange. More red in your yellow, it's a red orange. Okay, the one chart that I don't have for you today, unfortunately, is what happens when you mix a primary with its secondary complement. Then we get what are called our neutral colors, but I'm going to demonstrate that for you in a moment. So for example, if you were to mix yellow with purple, it makes brown or gray. The neutrals are the median tones. If you mix red with its secondary complement green, it makes a brownish gray. If you mix primary blue with its secondary orange, it makes a brownish gray. And I think that's all of them. And I'm going to demonstrate that for you now. So I'm going to stop the share. You may probably forget all this stuff, but in the demonstration I do, it's all going to come to life for you. So while I set up for the demonstration, get the supplies that you are going to use. Everything is at the back, Adrian. See where Shirley is? And there's water in the restrooms. You can fill your cup with water in the restroom. Folks at home, I'm now going to put a picture of the water lilies up. I just realized I have to find. Oh, and it's a different water lily picture, so you won't be bored. While I do the demo, though, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see this picture, but it will be up soon, guys. While I'm getting set up, you'll be able to see it. That's the good news. I have one at home. If you remind me, I can bring it. Oh, it's a little pixelated. Sorry, guys, this water lily picture. Is it okay? Thank you, Robin. Okay. You can also, those of you at home, you can find a million water lily pictures on your computers if you've got them. Somebody has a question. Okay. Jets. What is the opposite of taupe? I have no idea. The simple answer, I'm sorry, Alice. I don't know what the opposite of taupe would be.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's
I don't know. Taupe is a brown. I guess any bright color you want to use would be the opposite of taupe.
okay.
Here's something else about the Impressionists that I forgot to mention. The Impressionists love putting primaries next to their complements, their secondary complements. So red with green, yellow with violet, blue with orange, because when they are juxtaposed next to each other, they create interesting tonal happenings. So frequently Monet would put red with green to create a shadowy effect, or violet with yellow to create shadow. He never, ever used black. Never used black in his paintings. All right, Laura, so I can do the demo right next to Heather, and then I'll get yeah. Mention Bill Curran's show at the Hoboken Historical Museum. So our friend and model for this art class and sometime teacher, Bill Curran, had an opening of his art at the Hoboken Historical Museum. I recommend his show highly. And he is a plein air painting, just like Claude Monet, painter, just like Claude Monet. So you really want to go see his work. And the show is up until August. And it's free. and open to the public. It is in the small gallery upstairs in the Hoboken Historical Museum, which is located on Hudson Street, Hudson between 13th and 14th Street in Hoboken. It's a terrific show. Terrific. All right, so trying to take down the share, folks at home, so I can do the demonstration. I will put it back up as soon as I'm done with the demo. Everyone is welcome to watch the demo or not. Want to do the large shapes first. The water first. It's the largest part of the picture. It's kind of a blue, yes. Kind of a bluish red, yes. Lisa asked a really important question. You always do the largest shapes first in a landscape. It's so hard to come close to the edges of things. So if you do the little shapes first, it's very difficult. Oh, isn't that a cool picture? You do the little tiny shapes first. It's difficult to come close up to the edge. Great. You cannot have that picture. I took it down because I'm doing this. I'm doing a demonstration. It's going to be on the screen for now. I'm going to put that picture back up in a minute. So, in the water, and then the flower, and then. Yes, I will leave space for where the flowers go. Watch my demonstration, Lisa, before you start. You're going to watch me here, okay? Watch this first. Good to go? Yes. All right. Landscape. Now, if you're doing the water lilies, you don't need to do this. So I'm not going to talk about the horizon line. Because the water lilies don't have a horizon. If you're doing the water lilies painting, you in pencil want to lightly sketch in where the lilies are going to go. And I'm doing this from memory, which is never a good idea. You should look at where they are in the picture and in pencil, lightly sketch in where the lilies are located. If I remember correctly, the picture you're looking at on the screen, they were mainly in the lower right-hand corner, and I think there was one counterbalance composition in the upper left. Maybe there was one down here in the lower left. You see? So I sketched in pencil first where the flowers are. Then I'm going to take my brush, and sorry, I'm screaming so that the people at home can hear me. Then I'm going to create what we call a wash, which is a very thin, transparent layer of watercolor paint. For the water, the largest shape in the picture is the water. It is not a pure blue. I'm thinking back to my color wheel, and the complementary opposite of blue is anybody. Orange. I'm taking a tiny bit of orange, and I'm mixing it with my blue. And that is a truer color of the water. Yeah, that's not the picture I had on the screen, but this is perfect. So I do what we call the wash. I should have grabbed a bigger brush. White space for where the small shapes are. But my job right now is to fill in the bigger background. If I run out of paint, I'll just mix more. If it's too dark, I add water. Getting a wash. Something in the big shape of the water. And come back and do the smaller. And Susie, if it's hard for you to see what I'm doing here, you look at the TV screen. And the painting I'm looking at here has, the water has a lot of pink and purple. And it has a little bit of here's that. Water is never blue. Unless you're in Greece or the Caribbean. There's absolutely no pollution in the water. But water is rarely blue. Water is rarely pure blue. You need to look at the colors that are really big and mix. That's why you have these paper plates, so that you can experiment and mix first. Mix in the plate. Don't mix on your painting. If you mix on the painting and you make a mistake, you're going to be crying. Because with watercolor paint, you can't fix it. You can't. Once it's dry, you can paint over it, but it's challenging. So you see now, you have white empty spaces where the plants and flowers go. You see where I left it white? I didn't fill the whole area. I left it empty where the flowers go. Now I can do my, and they're kind of a greenish, yellowish, and blue. So I'm going to start with yellow. I like to start with the lightest color first. It's much easier to start light and add darker colors. Watercolor. As you work, it starts to dry, especially on this really nice absorbent watercolor paper. And as it dries, you can then take a smaller, finer brush and start adding outline and detail to define the shapes, to build up and define your shapes. Everybody get it? You get it? Now, you can start with oil pastel and make them over the top, like green. With watercolor paint, well, you have two. Oh, you have a grip. So white is not a thing. Just use more water. If you want to make your color thinner and paler, use lots of water. Or leave the paper plain. Good. But you all started beautifully. So now we're going to go back to sharing the picture on the screen. Unless you need more. Do you think you need more? I think we're doing good. I don't like showing too much. If I show too much, then you're going to want to copy me. And I don't think that's the way for you to learn. I want you to learn through experimentation. Not a paint and stick girl. Paint and stick is fun, and I don't want to put it down, but it's not the way I teach. Okay, so guys at home, I'm going to put the picture back up. Let's see if I can just go to share screen. Yes. Oh, yeah, I can do this one. Can we see it? Robin, can you see the picture?
Yes.
Okay, good. My new students, if you would like me to add you to my mailing list, I'm going to give you a piece of paper to write your email on. Because what I do every week is I send out an email telling you what the class for the week is going to be about. Really, I brought those really nice fine point brushes. You're going to need them for your detail work at the end. Which one you chose? Very good. Good. Love it. Well done. This is very good. Very good. That one is pardon. There. looking at this picture. Great, and notice how dark the water gets around the water lilies. See how it's kind of a grayish blue here. You can mix the blue with orange. You can mix, can I borrow this for a minute? This one. Watch this blue. Yellow. Blue. Nice bluish gray. It's this color. That's not blue. It's gray. Okay? You're afraid to mix. It's wonderful. Now remember, it's very wet. So you want it to look very, very real. You have to let it dry. And when it's dry, you're going to come back with this kind of brush, a teeny brush, well, little tiny line. It has to be super dry. And you can do this. You can blot it and get all the water. Soak all that water up. But you need a very fine brush like this. For doing any line. Yeah. All the brush can rest. And just so well. Spend any more time going. He was going to be our last French-speaking artist. Coming. Last year we had the biggest turnout ever. The last one. That's what's. Yeah. It's last. Yes. Not last pictures. fascinating. I don't know. Fossilized. Yeah, but I studied Spain. Last year, did we do last night? Last year. Yeah. So what did we do for the art version? Yeah, we did. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, we did. We did. We had to bring in an extra table, I think. We had two separate things with Ibu. I think that's why we're getting confused. I think you might have been in California, Alice.
But I know I was here. Shows last.
Folks at home, are you good? Anyone need to share? You're facing difficulties or triumphs? Do we have a new student at home today? I don't think so. Love the joy.
Hi.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I have to leave. I've left you a chat. I have to go into the city unexpectedly. So I'll send you work that I finish when I do. Okay.
I look forward to
Lovely.
seeing.
Lovely class. Thank you.
I'm so glad you got to come even for a short period of time. Stay cool, hydrate in the city, and I would recommend wearing a mask because of the air quality, but that's just me. Now remember, the Impressionists never used black, so think about those complementary colors. If you want dark shadows, mix your greens with red, mix your blues with orange, mix your yellows with violet. Try not to use black. Black is my favorite color, so it's hard for me to say don't use black. Try not to. Experiment with color mixing. It's fun. Seconds better. Folks, talking about this artist, Ebony G. Patterson has a show at the New York Botanical Garden. You've got to go see it. She's amazing. We're going to put it in the chat for those of you at home. She is what did we decide, Jamaican artist? Yeah. Not Haitian, right? She's a Jamaican artist. It is just, if you like plants and art, you've got to see this show. Ebony G. Patterson with 2 P's. The next show I really want to go to is, and I always mispronounce her name. I know I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but Susan Z, SZE at the Guggenheim. She does sculpture with found objects, which is a nice way of saying she makes sculpture from junk. And she's, I believe I know she's a Californian artist. I think she lives in San Francisco. Oops, no. Push the wrong button there. I think I told you about the Jean Quincy Smith Native American artist has a huge show at the Whitney Museum of American Art. Joan Quincy Smith. We have talked about her in the past. It's a really important show to see, I think. I admire her tremendously. Very moving. I have to say, if you have not started painting yet, you really want to try and do that. Those of you who are here, those of you who are at home, obviously, you have the luxury of time. Oh, Bill de Blasio and his wife are separating. I just got a New York Times scroll. I just couldn't stop myself from sharing. Sorry.
I'm not surprised.
Definitely.
Not surprised at all.
I think she's a powerful person.
I think they're both powerful persons, and that's why they have conflict.
Yeah. I would agree. And they're both very ambitious. I think they both want careers of their own.
Oh, he's going to remain in politics, that's for sure.
Well, she is too. You know, I think she has great political ambition.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I think so, yeah. Yep. It'd be interesting to watch her in the future. Oh.
Very interesting. Yep.
So. Yes. It's going to make life easier. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because particularly you, you're so precise. Yeah.
I'm trying to do the
Yeah.
best you can. Not to do
Well, you don't have to loosen up. This is your style. And because I know it's your style, I'm trying to make it easy. There's nothing wrong with being precise. then you won't be such a change. Yes, I agree. Okay. Yeah, that would be cool. This is, you're doing it exactly right. So with watercolor, as it dries, you can start adding the detail. Good. Good, you too. This is beautiful. Don't forget, look at the back. It's making it hard for you to see. See how dark it is. Yeah, I don't want you to use black today, but I would prefer you do this. Okay, a richer dark color by taking blue. Oh, you don't count. Just one my. Why the back? Mine is flat. Okay. Well, that's why I'm neglected. That's why I can't get around. Build up the detail in. Maybe then. Wonderful. Now. Blending edges. What you're doing, rub the hard edges under it. So, understand the yeah. So explain to Sally how to blur the blend and blur the make it blur and show it. Oh, you're not gonna see. It's a good easy. What you chosen. No, what? That's why it's like. It's nothing, just for you guys. You don't have to paint, listen to me. You don't have to paint, but I think the image you chose is gonna be way easier with the images. Just you wanted to sky and the water first. Do it very pale. See, Judy is now adding detail because she's let the background colors drop. Some final. That is the expensive brush. You know. Then. Wash together. Water wash. Right away. Thank you. Well. Yeah. Susie, this is nice back. But you need to spread it. And let it dry a little bit, Lisa. And you need it very fine brush. Ready for this one. Ready for the darkest color. Dark. I don't know. Which picture are you looking at? This one. So you want the darkest blue. Dark blue.
We couple down New York. I went there this week.
I just, what?
Oh, yeah. Parents and the shows.
It was good. Yeah. This is not, I was, this is John.
Oh. Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Sam?
Yeah, I would like to. Couple friends
I've
and
seen
seen it.
everything that I've seen. That's how they should. Bills, look at that.
Oh. Great. It was very. More about. Yeah. Well, I have. Another book.
Never saw that.
It's the one relating to this. She said it right here. Yes.
Please. Oh, it's the shop mom.
Right, these were some of the. So I'm very thankful. Famous of the work.
Right, I know, which is the whole point of the show. The
Exactly.
whole point of the show is that her drawings and watercolors are her greatest works.
Right.
And she should have stopped, she should have done more of that and not done all the oil.
You know, it's really up to the curator. Have a big impact. No, I'm talking about the curator of the.
Right,
That's
and
why
the
this-
point of the exhibit was she created oil paintings because they supported her. Not because they were what she loved doing. She wasted her life doing what she knew was saleable. Not what she really wanted to do, which kind of breaks my heart. Not kind of it. It makes me very sad. Which is the exact opposite of who I thought she was as a person. If you ever go to Georgia O'Keeffe's home, I mean, just her home is so exquisitely
If
beautiful.
you look at these, there's just, it's water, it's almost all watercolor.
Right.
It's wonderful.
And her charcoal drawings are pretty awesome too. Hi guys, do you want to paint? Everybody listen up. Jane has
But Laura has, Laura's printed some flyers, the next series of yoga classes begin next week. Right here, in the library, in this room.
You don't have to do these.
So you can just stay. Right, and you can pick up a flyer, from the table up there.
I don't need it. I just didn't want to put it away. Yes, there's a seat next to tomorrow. You know, Monet is our artist. Need to avoid garbage. Oh, here's a big one. Okay, quelle heure est-il maintenant? What time is it? Yes.
I was going to mention, is it possible for us at some point to look at the Françoise Gillot? She just died in June,
We could.
and she lived.
She's also a French speaking artist. Why didn't I think of her? Gio. Maybe I can work her in. Thank you for mentioning her. So we have about, I don't know, 10 minutes till cleanup, everyone. Gosh, time has really gone quickly. We have such beautiful work today. I encourage folks to share. Folks at home, I don't know if you heard Jane's announcement. Jane, do you want to come talk to the people at home? So, well, I'm going to mention this afternoon begins a new series of Jane's wonderful yoga classes here at the library. And they start at 1:30, Jane? 2 o'clock. So maybe you don't attend the morning class because you're just not a morning person and you want to find something to do in person in the afternoon. Yoga begins at 2 o'clock here at the library. Oh, right. Those of you who sometimes come in person and those of you here in person, please listen. Shirley, can you hold on just for 1 second? Can I have everyone's full and complete attention? In fact, can you look up from your work? Judy, can you hear me? Sure. Lisa, can you hear me? Lisa. From now on, The door to the library will not be opened until exactly 10 a.m. Susie, did you hear me? Okay, this is a friendly reminder. You are not allowed to enter the library until 10 a.m. That's when the library opens. It's going to get hotter and hotter. The air quality is probably going to get worse as the summer progresses. You cannot enter the library before 10 a.m. going forward. It is not allowed. I know some of you like to get here early to get your favorite seat. You can't get in before 10 a.m. I'm sorry. All right, thank you, everyone. Go back to work. And there's no favored nation status. And smiling and crying is not going to work. Real book. It's just fabulous. Very nice. I want to start with a larger brush, especially since your time is limited, but that's just me. Your color choices are beautiful. It's going well. Going well. That's good. Kudos to you. Bravo. It takes courage to start again. You're doing well. You're doing great. You're doing great. I love it. All the detail in this. You cannot capture it. Only get your impression. Yeah. And you are doing it. So congratulations. Beautiful. There. And in here as you went, but wait till it's dry. Okay? You use those black lines, but wait till it's drier. Look at you. It's great. It's growing. Don't get it. Blue with orange. What? Brownish gray color. It's your neutral. I told you, you usually work big. You usually work big. Not together. Now I want it. Where? So You want this? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We got to share today, kids. We got to. So one more minute and we're going to share. Okay, time to share. Folks at home, who wants to go first? You look so deeply engrossed. Do you want me to start with people here first?
No, I could go first.
Alice, okay.
Okay, I don't know how you can see it though.
Well, we've spotlighted you. Oh, wow. You went
was-
figurative today. Is this
I
a
was
great
wondering
style?
if the pastels could apply to a portrait.
Absolutely, why not? And I said Monet was figurative, so it fits. How wonderful.
Eh,
Really great proportional work on this face too. Terrific.
That's
I
my
would make one teeny tiny suggestion. You
What's
might
that?
want to put one little speck, although you may have it, and I'm having difficulty seeing it on camera, one little tiny speck of light in the retina of
Yeah.
the eye. Do you
Yeah,
have it
it's-
there already? And I'm not,
Well, I have it, but it's pretty small. Maybe I should make it a little more accentuated. I'll try that. Yeah.
well, maybe not. You don't, if it's too big, it might look cartoony. It
Yeah.
could be because it's on camera and I'm not seeing it. I love this image. Is it a grandchild?
Yes, that's Gage, my grandson.
Age. Awesome. Terrific. I think it's a keeper and a framer. And I love your color choices.
Well, I didn't use black. That's good.
It's a challenge, right?
Well, it actually is. Yes.
It is. We're so used to turning to black when we want to do shading.
Yeah.
Thank you for going first, Alex.
Mhm.
Always brave, a brave choice. Doris, you're next on tap, as they say.
Unmute.
Yes, please.
So I was hiking, and this is a photograph of something I saw in the water, and it looked like a face.
It does
So-
indeed.
This is my interpretation or my impression.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It looks almost exactly like the photograph. Are you using acrylics or watercolor?
Watercolor.
It's pretty terrific. I think
Combination of watercolor pencil and regular watercolor.
it's a mixed media. I think you're done. I wouldn't define the face too much more.
Okay, thank you.
Very nice. So, oh, I don't know what happened. I thought Teresa was next. So now, Stephanie, you're next. Is this the image you have up already, Stephanie? Is this what you were working on today?
Yeah.
Really
you-
great. Is this in your garden itself, or is this somewhere else?
It was from a photo.
It's from a photo. I like this so much. Your colors are true to nature. And well defined. Everything is well defined. I'm a little confused. Is this a table in the bottom
So
right?
it's like it's like where you fill a bucket.
Oh, so it's like a sink.
Yeah. It's like
Okay,
an
cool.
outdoor
All right,
thing.
now
where
I
you-
get it. Yes, I get it. So this is a solid structure here.
Right.
Awesome.
And then I have, let's see. I have this that I did.
Super. Super, super. And here, folks,
That's reflection.
Very nice.
yes, and here, look at here is the horizon line. Those of you who are doing this kind of landscape, this is terrific use of horizon line that I was going to do in our demo today, but I realized if you were copying Monet's water lilies, you didn't need this.
Right.
Wow, this one is exceptional.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Thank
All right,
you.
thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Teresa, now you're next.
Did you call me? Sorry, I'm losing you for some reason.
I don't know what happens. Teresa?
Okay, I'm back. Losing our connection. All right, I have a which I'll show you. But the thing that I learned most important today
Okay.
is not to put your coffee cup next to your water cup.
Oh, haha. Oh yeah, been there, done that.
But I have a lot of work to do, but I enjoyed mixing the colors in certain ways and getting different greens and blues.
Oh, I'm sorry we can't see what you accomplished. Teresa, send me a JPEG, okay?
Okay, we'll do. Thank you.
Okay, hold on 1 minute, everyone. It seems we've had an accident here. Are you okay, guys? Good news is it's just water. And your foot. And move your sketchbook. Oh, and look, it hasn't hurt your artwork or your phone. It's all good news. It's all under control. All right. There's more. Reminds me when I'm gonna go back to Karen. Thank you, Heather. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Everything under control. Teresa, sorry we couldn't see your image. Lizzie, do you want to share? Can you go on camera, Liz?
Yeah. Definitely, I don't know color.
Lizzie,
I'm trying.
stop it.
Definitely, I'm trying to, yeah. But your demonstration helped. But it's learning the eye to the hand.
Awesome. Wait, I need to minimize this. Wow, you do know color. This is terrific. Terrific, terrific.
How
Look
do you make
how natural
gray?
your colors are. Look at this. This is fabulous. You're getting
Question.
those earth tones, those natural colors down well.
How do you make gray?
You've made
Look-
gray. Tell
Yes.
me, how did you mix
Yeah,
gray?
purple and blue or something. I forget now. I was looking. I wrote down what you said to mix for black. But I think it's a matter of doing it enough to have instinct. So I get distracted with trying to do the color versus the picture.
You must do it over and over and
Mm.
over again. And then it becomes ingrained in your brain. Everybody
Mm.
listen up. It will become second nature, like with drawing the figure. The more you do it, the more it becomes easy for you. It's a matter of practice.
Mm.
And you've made beautiful shades of gray there. You have accomplished it. And it's going to come back to you the next time you paint.
Well, thank you for your guidance.
You're welcome. You're doing so well. So stop with the,
I
don't know.
enjoy it. I just, I'm like trying to
That's
figure
my
it out.
goal, is to get you to enjoy what
Yeah,
you're.
trying to figure it out is the hard part.
It's really the only way to learn how to create, is to experiment. It really is.
Hmm.
I think people come to art class expecting the teacher to say, do it this way and follow me every step of the way. And I don't believe that that's the correct way to learn.
Right. No, you're right.
Not with art. You've
Mm.
got to learn it on your own. Unfortunately, but
Exactly.
I will give you guidance in the beginning, and then, like with any good mother, I got to let you go and let you experiment. All right, Lizzie, I want to
thank you so much.
have a chance to share. So thank you so much. You're doing great.
And I enjoy seeing everybody's because it's amazing.
Yeah, wait till you see what's been accomplished here. There's some really gorgeous work. So Laura's getting ready to bring the camera around, or give it to me to bring around. Folks at home, I hope you'll enjoy watching. Here she comes. So Sally and Janice, we're looking at people's work now. If you could go back to your seats so we can highlight your work as well as everyone else's. It's not time to clean up yet. So here we are with Daniel's beautiful. This is in New York, you said.
Actually, yeah, but actually I hate it.
Oh, Daniel.
I hate it. It didn't come too well. It didn't come too well, and watercolor is not my passion.
All right, here's my suggestion. Get it home when it's bone dry. You need to take colored pencil or uniball pen and start outlining the structures in this painting, define them, outline, add detail, and you're going to love this. Your colors are beautiful. Your composition is great, and your depth of field is terrific. It's like a photograph. It's beautifully done.
Yes, may I ask you, is it a uniform point pen or felt tip?
Pen,
Oh, the pen.
yes. Okay, now we're looking at Jane's painting, and Jane was looking at a John Marin watercolor. And wow, just look at these just really delicate, lovely colors. I love it. Thank you, Jane. And Shirley, with her love of precision, is copying a butterfly, right? Just exquisite. So hours and hours of fun work for Shirley ahead, right? And our newest student, Adrian, one of our newest students, I should say. You were was it a Chinese watercolor you were looking at, or a Chinese garden?
Yeah, like a
Japanese garden. Look at that, beautiful, like a bonsai tree. Just beautiful. Really nice texture. And Adrian said she's never used watercolor before, so bravo, really well done. And Lisa, who at the beginning of class was asking me what colors to use where, look what she accomplished. It's just magnificent. Really rich, terrific color and great composition, Lisa. And Sally disappeared as usual. Susie, I mean, disappeared as usual. Where's Sally? Aren't we looking at your work? And this is Ambika's fantastic, beautiful colors. Love it. Can't wait to see it when it's finished. Send me a JPEG, please. I like the outlining. And Heather was looking at a Monet painting of irises in his garden at Giverny. Great color, great detail, great composition. Beautiful. We had a big debate as to whether or not he actually used black in his painting. It sure looked like he did. But according to Monet, he never used black. Really beautiful, Heather. And this is Estes looking at Monet's water lilies. She used oil pastel as well as watercolor paint. I love it.
Oh, I used a picture of it in the page.
Love, love, love it. And look at this beautiful painting by Estes' granddaughter, Ami. Original painting by Ami. Two beautiful originals by Ami with oil pastel and watercolor. We have a crayon resist. Ami did spectacular work today. Yay, Ami. Woohoo! I hope you come back to class, Ami. And this is Alice's great watercolor. And Alice, congratulations, followed my directions. I said, if you're used to working large, work small. And she did, and it's terrific. Terrific. It's reminding me of an artist, but I can't think of whom. And Alice, Eileen, look at this, did a very difficult subject, New York skyline and the Hudson River. Look at this great perspective she got here. Really hard to do. I can't wait to see it finished. I mean, congratulations, Eileen. That just doing the drawing for that was hard work. Woohoo! Yay, Eileen. And Judy's, look at Judy's great detail. Just spectacular. It's really nice. And my suggestion for Judy is, see the beautiful wrought iron gate in the background in this. I want to see more of that black detail amongst the plants, but she's got to let the painting dry before she can tackle that kind of thing. So I hope to see, Judy, bring it to the multi-center next week when it's done. I want to see it up close and personal. And Mariana, another new student, look at her beautiful painting. Look at this really difficult perspective. And Mariana said she has not done art, I hope it's okay to share, in 25 years. And for the first time, she's using watercolor paint. Boy, that took courage. And it's really a lovely painting, a work in progress. Bring it back next week when you're done, or you can send me a picture. I'll give you my email address before you leave. Yay, Mariana. Oh, and I didn't give my email address to Adrian. And here's Janice, who like in 5 minutes started this fantastic Monet water lily image with oil pastels and watercolor paint. Pretty awesome. Really beautiful color work, Janice. And look at Tamara's. It's like so surreal. It's really gorgeous. Wow, right? It's like perfectly surrealistic image. Well done, Tamara. Talk about quality of light. She captured the quality of light in this photograph perfectly. All right, well, those of you at home, keep working. Those of you here, we got to stop. And I will see you all next week. We will have another French-speaking artist. Send me JPEGs, art on, and Vive la France, and happy Independence Day. Oh, let's see our other artists at the back. Let's see their work. Yes, I was hoping we would get to see their work. Wow, look at these drawings. Oh my gosh. Guys, do you want to tell us your names? Sri? Fantastic. You told me you drew well, and you are not lying. Look at this. Wow. Guys, you have to come back. You are terrific artists. Bravo. Woohoo. Bye. All right, see you next week, everybody.